Steelers, Colin. The Steelers were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon saying, we're going to get you at 21. And then swooping in were the Philadelphia Eagles. Colin, they called him when he was on the phone with the Steelers, said, bro, we're moving up to grab you, prompting the media to ask Howie Roseman, hey, you just drafted a receiver. What about A.J. Brown? Here's Howie Roseman.
For us, again, AJ's a member of the Eagles. We don't have any trades that have been made or that are done. And I think for us, we're taking this one day at a time. We're going to look to improve the team tomorrow, and we'll continue to address anything that we have to with our roster. Not only through this draft weekend, but, we'll continue to look for ways to improve the team throughout the offseason and as we get into training camp.
Well, they went and got a number 3 receiver and a number 2 receiver to replace A.J. Brown. They're going to go offensive line hunting with this next pick. Yeah, and that's what they need. Their roster is the strength in the building, is the culture in the roster.
Are you of the belief that a deal is already done for A.J. Brown, or they have several they're sifting through that they will do after June 1, June 2, whatever, after the
deal's done? They've been working on this for a while.
And you think it's Patriots?
Yes. Okay. Winners, both teams win. Both teams win.
Can I just toss the Rams out there? Apparently the whole Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown thing was close. And, oh, by the way, the Eagles are going to win because the draft picks that they'd give up are probably 1 or 2 years, 27 or 28. I don't think it's a done deal to the Patriots. I think he's gone, but I think it's Patriots or Rams. Just keep an eye on that. All right, finally.
All right. Let's get into this. I want to focus more on the Eagles draft haul rather than the A.J. Brown situation. I've got another video coming out on Sunday about A.J. Brown, which I think is actually a pretty solid one. So, keep an eye out for that. But for now, I genuinely love what the Eagles are doing at this moment. I absolutely love what the Eagles are doing right now. Going with a tight end in Eli. Apparently, he's the second-ranked tight end in this class. The 36th overall prospect, carrying a grade of 85. That's excellent value for the Eagles at that spot. It's pretty funny because I've been studying how the Eagles operate. I mentioned this last year, and I think actually the year before that as well. The Eagles are exceptionally good at drafting replacements. As a result, they never really miss a beat, and their team culture keeps moving forward without interruption. Colin just pointed out that their culture and their roster are their biggest strengths. And it's so amusing because when I then look at their third-round selection, the Bell pick, the analysis even says that the Eagles draft ahead of need so skillfully. And I'm thinking, yes, exactly. I have an entire video discussing that very topic. I believe I made it during last year's draft, over that weekend. So it was about a year ago that I went on a full rant about how that's precisely what the Eagles do better than almost anyone. Because I saw this tight end pick, and I noticed a lot of people are frustrated. They were asking, what are they doing? What are they thinking? Why didn't they go defense? This is so foolish, and so on and so forth. And it's just like, look, a lot of fans wanted IMW and such, which I understand. But from a tight end perspective, first of all, the Eagles have historically done so well at this position, whether it was Brent Selleck, then Ertz, then Goddard. They always seem to find that next tight end. And I am completely on board with investing in tight ends. I've said this a million times. I wanted Siddick for almost every team, honestly. I really did. So I wasn't really looking at any other tight end options, to be truthful. I was just stuck on Siddick. But the more I researched Eli and saw what he can bring, particularly his speed, it becomes so obvious what the Eagles are trying to accomplish. It looks to me like they are attempting to become the fastest team on the planet right now. They want speed. And I am so excited about what Sean Mannion and Jalen Hurts are going to do together. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts, as long as everyone stays healthy, this is finally going to be the year he sets a career high in yards after catch. He is finally going to have proper support. We are finally going to see Jalen Hurts benefit from those nice, easy, short passes that turn into 10 or 15-yard gains. We are finally going to witness that. The very thing I've been shouting about for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I've been saying, look at what happens with Mahomes. Look at what happened with Baker when he had Liam Cohen. I kept pointing all of this out. Look at what happens. Look at what Sean Payton has done with Bo Nix, and so on and so forth. And people say, oh, you're using this to bring down Mahomes or whatever. And it's like, no. I'm simply pointing out the gifts that Andy Reid provides. That is the coach's job, to give gifts to his quarterback. It's something that Jalen Hurts has not yet been on the receiving end of. Well, boys and girls, he is finally going to be on the receiving end of that kind of support. And I am excited for it. I'm really, really, really excited for it. And I think, again, grabbing Bell is a solid hedge for what they're looking to do. Let me see. Where is that? Yeah. I mean, he's a monster, too, right? He's 6 feet 9 inches, 346 pounds. I think once you get to this stage of the draft, once you're selecting offensive tackles this late in the process, honestly, it's all a bunch of toss-ups. But from what I've seen, I definitely like what I see. However, I feel obligated to always say this because everyone speaks with such certainty. They start naming players and they talk so confidently. Antonio Williams, oh my gosh, he's fantastic. That's a huge pickup for the Commanders. He's going to dominate, blah blah blah. And I'm just not going to hype things up or boost them just for the sake of doing it. I fully admit that once we get this late into the draft game, you kind of just have to wait and see. But I think the value matches what they need and what they're trying to accomplish. There are also some rumors, and I don't know if this is true. This was floated out there, I have no idea. But something about who the Patriots picked in the first round potentially going to the Eagles as part of the A.J. Brown situation. Something about a 2027 first-round pick and the offensive lineman the Patriots selected. I don't know. I'm not trying to go too deep into that. It's too hard to know for sure, and I don't want to start making videos about conspiracy theories or tinfoil hat things. But so far, I really, really like what the Eagles have been doing. They're trusting Fangio. They're doing exactly what I say they should do, what I've said a lot of teams should do. Fangio is their main coach in terms of being their best coach on that specific side of the ball. So you are trusting him to get the job done. You are trusting him to coach up the talent. You are trusting him that he has enough of what he needs to work with. At the same time, you're bringing in a new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, and you're saying, we are giving you everything. We are giving you everything we possibly can. We are giving you everything you could ever need. We are going to make sure you have all the tools available. You want size? We've got size. You want speed? We've got speed. You want a running game? We've got a running game. You want a mobile quarterback? We've got a mobile quarterback. We are giving you everything you need. You're the mastermind. Show us what you've got. Pull the strings and go after it. So there you have it. And you know, the offensive line, this is something to note, they were not a good offensive line last year. But there were several reasons for that. 1, they were obviously really banged up. That's clear. I mean, 2 of the linemen had to go abroad to get injections or whatever it was they got. So we'll see, no idea. But also, I think with such predictability in that offense, it was just a lot easier for defenses to just tee off. And I think that with such a repetitive running game, everything was just so repetitive, that probably also had the effect of wearing down the offensive line as well. So I believe that if they are simply healthier, the O-line will be better. And with a more dynamic and creative offense, that also puts the O-line in a better position. Additionally, with some of the quick passing concepts the Eagles are likely to employ, you're also reducing the pressure on the offensive line. You're not necessarily removing pressure, but you're taking away some of the impact that the O-line has on the overall approach. Especially because you're not trying to buy time and live or die by those deep 50-50 balls and so forth. You are looking to run what I always say, hike and throw, hike and throw, hike and throw. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are the masters of that, hike and throw, quick route concepts, quick schemed throws, just getting the ball out fast. Get the ball into the playmaker's hands, and they're off to the races. Boom. Quick screens. Quick dump-off passes. Just quick, 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 quick. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Considering Jalen Hurts has such great secondary reactions, I'm fascinated to see what he does when the plan is to use that quickness for his first reactions now. I think the potential is really interesting. I'm really, really fascinated. And people said, hey, the offense had problems. There were problems with the offense. New coordinator, new pieces, new offensive weapons to work with. Yeah, man. What's not to love? But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? How do you feel about Mac Lemon? How do you feel about Eli? How do you feel about Bell? How do you feel about some of the other trades that have happened or some of the other draft picks that have happened since I recorded and posted this video? It's always hard to keep up with everything during draft time because it's constantly moving. But let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I would absolutely love to see you be a part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.